What's good, everybody? It's just not come back at you on another video. So the title of this video is that the things you pedestalize become harder to reach. Now, the term pedestalize means to put something on a pedestal. So typically a pedestal is an elevated platform. Now, if we think about it like physically, like logically, right? Of course, there are many things that are easy to grab, and these are things that are around your height, maybe a little bit higher, or like, a little bit below your waist, right? These are things that are relatively easy to grab. Now, there's certain people that will put things on a pedestal. Sometimes that might require you to extend your arm and reach above, or maybe the pedestal is placed so high that this desire is completely out of reach or not even possible to be grabbed. And the title of this video is to explain it like figuratively, right? Like the things you put on a pedestal become harder to reach. And it's typically because people can have like goals, dreams, aspirations, but they'll place it in such a high regard that for a lot of people, they don't think that it's ever even possible for them to get it. So like, for example, there are folks out there that can have a dream home, right? Like they can go online and browse the web and look at, luxury mansions, right? And they can love what they see and absolutely fall in love with a specific home somewhere, right? Then they'll look at all the photos, all the videos, get excited, and then once they see the price tag, their stomach drops. And then they don't think that it's ever possible for them to own that home. An example like that is what I mean, right? Putting that dream home on the pedestal and putting it so high up, think it's like, although you want it, although it is your goal, your dream, your absolute dream, you're looking at it as it being worth so much and that it not being possible for you to attain. That makes it harder to reach because your belief is shot, right? Like you don't have any belief whatsoever that it's possible for you to get it. And that prevents you from getting it, right? You need to remember that it's not the facts that creates the belief, it's the belief that creates the fact, because your belief is what's going to propel you forward to create the facts of your life. So if you don't believe that you can get something, then the facts and the evidence will appear to prove you right. And the question is that something that you want to be proven right? Right? If you really want that home and you believe you can't get it, then of course you're going to feel bad. And because of your negative feeling, your negative emotion, that proves to you, to me, and to everyone that that's not what you want to be proven right, right? You want to prove that you can actually get it. And so in order for you to do that, you need to begin taking that down off of the pedestal and believe that it's possible for you to achieve, right? What you need to remember is for a lot of people, they can put material things, money, right? Like those things on pedestal, right? If let's just say they haven't had many material things in their life or that they haven't had much money in their life, they can put it on a very high pedestal and think that, that's something that they want, but they don't know how to get it and they don't even think it's possible to get it. Putting it on a pedestal like that will have you be worried and anxious and fearful, right? It'll have you vibrate negative emotion because you think these things are way above you and that you're way beneath it, when that's not true, right? The opposite is in fact true. You need to see yourself as essentially a giant, that you're just walking around with your head in the clouds, and that everything else in this world is the size of an ant or a snail, right? As you're this giant with your head in the clouds, because that is the reality of it. You have the power to create anything. You have the power to be, do, or have anything in this world and anything in this lifetime. And for a lot of people, this is one of my favorite things to say, that a lot of people fail to put things into context. And what I mean by that is there are plenty of people. The reason why it's obtainable is because a lot of times our dreams, our goals, and aspirations that we, after, in many cases, have been obtained by other people. Not saying that like, what's your blessing was taken by somebody else. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that like, if our dream is to have a dream home, right? There's been plenty of other people who were able to successfully get their dream home. Or if the dream is to acquire, financial freedom and abundance, right? There's been plenty of people who have come from similar backgrounds or have been in similar positions that we're currently in who were able to achieve that, right? And a lot of times people don't put things into perspective. It is all possible. And so understanding, if you understood and believed that it was all possible, you wouldn't be putting things as often on pedestal, or if at all, right? You'll look at these things and say, you know what? I can have that. I can afford that. I can make that happen, because it's true. You can. You have the power to do that, right? And let me give you guys an example. Of course, when I began my YouTube journey, which was, I want to say, when I began taking it seriously, which was a little over a year ago, right? I started posting content each and every day, because each and every day I wanted, Monday through Friday on the weekdays, I wanted to deliver a message to people all around the world, to anyone who stumbled across my YouTube channel, because I am passionate about personal development and growth, and I want to help push the world forward, right? I want to continue helping people and providing value and helping people discover who they really are and bring out the best version of themselves, right? Of course, when I was thinking about a YouTube channel, right, I was thinking about, like, what would it look like later on in the journey. And of course, the goal for a lot of content creators is to, one day hit 1 million subscribers, because that, of course, is an absolute massive milestone, right? So for over a year of posting content virtually every single day, I was able to hit over 100 subscribers. And for some people, that is slow progress. For some people, that isn't good enough. For some people, they just end up quitting, because it's like, what is 100 subscribers gonna do? But one of the eye-opening moments when I put things into perspective, when I added more context to it, is like a few months ago. I remember I stumbled across a video of Mr. Beast talking about Mr. Beast, right, the largest YouTuber in the world, right? He posted a video about talking about his subscriber counts and his journey to where he's at now. And I think he was doing YouTube for like 15 years. And he showed that, his subscriber count at the end of like each year. And when I looked at his number compared to mine, it wasn't that I was actively trying to compare myself, but when I saw his number and I saw mine, I said, wait, like, if I look at this logically, I'm already ahead of Mr. Beast when he first started, right? So it's like, right now I'm essentially way ahead of Mr. Beast's trajectory, and he ends up being the largest content creator in the world, right? So it's important to always put things into perspective and to add context, because for a lot of people, they can quit and they can say, oh, after 1 year, if I only get 100 subscribers, then that's a failure, because if I only get 100 a year, how am I supposed to reach 1 million? Well, I don't look at it that way, because even if I don't have the answers for how to get there, because I haven't been there, right? I do know how to provide value. I do know how to create content. And so that becomes my focus. And so I'm just going to focus on that and allow all the pieces to fall where they might fall, right? And that's how you need to approach things, right? Sometimes we can put something on a pedestal and look at it and think that it's so high that it's unattainable, when the reality is you can obtain it, right? And sometimes you need to bring it down from the pedestal and not see it as like this thing that's so much greater than you, because it's not, right? You are much larger than it could ever be. Therefore, you are capable of having it, right? Like, you need to remember, and once again, put things into perspective. That dream home that you might want that costs $10 million, right? That home is made up of wood, probably steel, probably granite, glass for the windows, right? All these materials that come from the earth. And if anything were to happen to that home, if they were to somehow get destroyed, right, the company that made it still has the blueprint, and that home can always be rebuilt again. So is it really that expensive, right? And even if it has a $10 million price tag, what you need to remember is that there was a time on this planet, on this earth, when money didn't exist, right? Because when the earth was created with nature, right? Like, money didn't exist. Money was only created after humans populated and then wanted to adjust from the bartering system where we were just trading goods, right? Because people realized that it would be much easier to exchange value and services if we introduce money, a universal currency, rather than having to constantly just trade the products that we own, right? It just became a much more efficient system. So there's so many people that put money on a pedestal thinking that like it's the end all be all, that if you have it then your life is complete. But you need to remember, money was created by us. Money was created by humans. So how can the creation ever be worth more or more valuable than the creator? It's not possible. It doesn't make any sense, right? So even if something appears to cost so much, if you wanted to earn $10 million, then all you need to do is just create more than $10 million worth of value to other people and to the world, right? But most people don't look at it that way, because most people don't understand money. And because they don't understand something, it's easier to put on a pedestal because it doesn't make sense. Like the answers aren't there, right? Like if I use an example, right? If I ask you to go find bees, like the honeybees, right? If I ask you to go find bees and you didn't know anything about bees, it would probably be hard for you to find bees because you'll probably just be searching everywhere. But if I were told, or if I were asked to go find the honeybee, right? I'll just look for what they're attracted to, which is a queen bee or pollen or nectar, right? Like I would look for the places where I can expect them to be at because I understand how they operate, right? It becomes easier to obtain something when you understand how it works, how it all functions. And that's like the idea with money, right? There's some people that they can see that earning, $10,000 in a day is absolutely impossible, when there's other people who can earn $100,000 or $1 million in a day, because they understand money, they understand how it works, and it makes sense to them. And so they don't pedestalize it because it's easy for them to attain it because they understand how it works, right? A lot of times people can pedestalize things that they're just unclear about, which makes it seem like it's Mount Everest, which makes it seem like it's way harder to reach. But if you just take time to learn about it, understand it, then it doesn't become as big. And when you begin investing in yourself and growing and improving as a person, developing yourself, that's when you realize that you, this whole time, have been the most valuable thing, that you are the most valuable thing, that you can create infinite value for other people and the world. And if you understand or understood that money represents value, then if you continue creating value for other people and for the world, then money has to follow by default. It will follow by default. So I, like in my earlier life, right, coming from humble beginnings, I also used to pedestalize money and think like, wow, like my life would be so much better if I were to get it and everything would change and this and that, until I realized what it actually was and how it all functioned, and realized that money is not worth more than me because I can create it in my life. I can create wealth for everyone and increase the inner value of people all around the world, which means that by default, my external value will increase accordingly, right? Without fail. So understanding that, then I'm no longer pedestalizing money because I know it's inevitable for it to make its way to me eventually. The same idea with YouTube, right? Reaching that 1 million subscriber mark. It sounds scary. It's like 1 million subscribers, that's effectively 1 million people knowing who you are and loving your content enough to want to hit the subscribe button. How will you ever get to that milestone? Well, right now, I'm on an all-time great trajectory because I'm in this point right now. It's like I'm already ahead of the largest creator in YouTube history as far as like the 1 year mark, right? I'm way ahead of him. And even if I may not understand the algorithm or the platform, all these things, I know how to put out content. And I know that my content makes a difference in the lives of other people because I know that it means something. I know that I'm speaking from the heart and I'm delivering value to other people. All walks of life, right? So if my content benefited over 100 people, that they seen the value enough to want to subscribe because they appreciate the story that I'm sharing, then it must mean that, like, if 100 people likes it, then maybe 200 people like it, and then maybe 500 people will appreciate it, and then maybe 1,000, and then it'll keep going and going as long as I continue going and going. Because as long as I don't stop, I can never fail, I can never lose, right? Because I'm still working towards that goal and that dream. So that's when I put things into perspective and realize, like, I just have to continue what I'm doing, and then everything will work itself out. That's when I began taking things that I once put on a pedestal and taking it down, because I realized that I'm the one that's above it, that I'm greater than all of it. And I want you to feel and believe that way about you. You can have your dream be to have a luxury sports car, right? And that can be the thing that's on the pedestal for you, but it can probably be unattainable because of the price tag. Don't worry about the price tag. Just work on yourself and better yourself, because once you work on yourself, better yourself, and invest in yourself, that's when you realize that you have been valuable this whole time, that you are a creator, and that your job is to create, and you can create things that the world can benefit from. And as you do that, wealth is going to flow to you because you're delivering value to other people. So other people are going to want to deliver value back to you. And then soon enough, you'll be able to have more than enough to get the car. Because a lot of times we have these dreams and we think that it's all about reaching the dream. And then once you reach the dream, you're going to be happy forever. But it's eventually going to wear off, that happiness, because it's eventually going to be the norm for you, right? You may want it or desire it right now, but then when you get it, it'll eventually become normal, and then that happiness and joy will, like, fade, right? So it's never been about these things. We have these goals and these dreams to go after because it gives us something to do, it gives us something to strive for, but it's less about that and more about the person we become and the person we grow in order to achieve these things. So be aware of what you put on a pedestal, because oftentimes when people pedestalize things, they put things so high up that it becomes unattainable. And you need to remember that it's not these material things, not all these other things that should be put on a pedestal. If anything, you should put yourself on a pedestal, because that is how great you are, and that is how much you can offer to this world. You are the treasure this entire time. It's not anything outside of you. It's not your desires, not any of that, right? You are the treasure. You are the one that has been the wealth this entire time, the abundance, the happiness, the joy, it's all been within you. And so you want to make sure you are always investing in yourself, improving yourself, and getting better, because that is the truth the entire time, right? Don't get caught up in thinking all these other things are better than you or more important to you, right? Money can never be worth more than you, because we as humans, we created money. So our creation can't ever be worth more than us as the creator, right? The world existed and functioned before it, right? And if you also think about it, even though you can buy a lot of things with money, there can never be enough money in this world to buy the earth, to buy the world itself, right? You can probably buy some land, or probably buy a business here and there, or probably buy a home, right? Like, you can do all these things, but the earth itself, the world, does not have a price tag, right? So there's limits to what you can do with money and finance, but there's no limits to you, to your greatness, and what you're capable of. So remember, you shouldn't put things on a pedestal, because you yourself are the greatest thing. You yourself are the creator, and you can create anything. You can be, do, or have anything in this lifetime. So you should be looking at yourself as being great, as opposed to all these other things that are way above you. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe as we're on the road to 1 million subscriber, guys. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.